Right, I'm back with another tutorial. This time I'm in a class 57 diesel, and we're going to be doing a cold startup. Starting up the 57 is different to the other diesels. You don't just press engine start and off away it goes. It's more involved. It's more realistic. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the cab light on, so it's brighter in here. This time you'll also notice that I've got the cursor on. That bugged me in the last video that I didn't have it on. So what we need to do is first you need to put the driver key. Take it and just pull it over like that. So you want to left click on it and then just drag it over and it'll pop itself in there. So with that in, what you need to do is next, you need to switch the reverser over here to engine only, and you want to cancel that by pressing Q. Same thing, and then press E to cancel the DVD, the driver's vigilance device. You want to cancel both of those. At this point, if I remember correctly, you need to press and hold this for the engine primers, so the engines get themselves primed up, and then I think that takes about 30 seconds, and after that you can start the engine. When you start the engine, if you look over to the top left of the screen, you see where there's a red light on the engine stopped, then there's brake timing goods, and then underneath that there is a light that says derate. What that is, it will stay lit for approximately 5 minutes after the engine has been started, and if it's you can move off with that light still lit up, but the loco will be limited to half power. It won't go any faster than that. Once it's off, you can go full power, but until that light's off, it won't go any faster than half. So that should be good. I should be able to start the engine up. There we go. Hear the engine turning over there behind it. There goes a 77, or 377, sorry. Away that goes. This engine will suddenly burst into life at around now. It will sit at 300 RPM, I believe, is the idle to this engine. Don't make me look stupid. There we go, 300 RPM. That's good. So you've got the general alarm there because the derate light's on. What we want to do over here, instrument lights. None of these other ones work except for this one, and they're not quite right because they're just not quite right, in all fairness. Windscreen wipers, you notice that the windscreen is incredibly wet now and you can't see where you're going. They're down here. You can use the usual V and that'll set the windscreen wipers up to full speed. I don't like that. I don't like them at full speed, it bugs me. What this train has is it has variable windscreen wipers, so if you just grab it, turn it a little bit, you put them on nice and slowly. That's much better because it's not heavy rain, so you don't need it going stupidly fast like it would do if you press V. Another thing, actually, while I'm here, I was going to use that, but I was going to use this button over here because this is what my load unload is. I want to press T, so I'm going to let passengers on and off. Come on, T. Come on, do it. Oh, it is. Oh, okay, never mind. It already is. At this point, you can move the reverser up forward. One thing you want to do, that I didn't do when I first drove this particular scenario, or I didn't do until partway through it, is the parking brake over here. You want to make sure and click on that, and it goes blue. Blue means it's off. What I did was, I clicked on the instrument light dimmer and hadn't realised. I thought that was the switch for turning it on and off because of where it was. It's not. You have to press the actual buttons themselves. The brakes, at the moment, they've stuck themselves up in emergency, so I'm going to use this, take them away from emergency. Check that, that's off, and I'm going to check down here to see if any of the coach handbrakes are on, which they're not, they're all off. Good. We're going well so far. Is there anything else in this loco at the moment that needs to be said about? Let me think. Oh yeah, the loco, it won't take power until the brakes are off by a certain amount, until the brake pressure here, this one, is up to a particular pressure. I think it's there. I think it's 4.5. I think, is that bar? 4.5 bar? Yeah, it makes sense. That's 4.5 bar. Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's bar. If I'm not, I apologise, but I'm pretty sure 4.5 bar, 4.5, no, pound inches wouldn't be right. I like saying bar, don't know why. I think, yeah. If it's not bar, I'll leave in the description and correct myself, but I think that's 4.5 bar. But the engine won't take power until it's up at that point. The engine will rev, but it won't move off. It will stay there. And I will show that to you. I'm also going to try and get some wheel slip in and how to counteract that and stuff in this video. It's perfect weather conditions for it because it's raining. So it should be fairly easy to get shut up. It should be fairly easy to thingy it, to get it to whip, to get the wheels to slip, because the track's it's wet, slippery conditions. If I put enough power on there, the wheels are going to start spinning, and you'll see what happens. I'll also show you what happens when I'm sorry if the camera's moving about a lot. I still haven't got a tripod. It's something I need to do, get a tripod for my phone. I'll try and do it for the next tutorial video, but what was I saying? Yeah, what I'm gonna do is there's a DVD again. That'll go. What I was saying originally. Don't get sidetracked. I'm gonna try and show you what'll happen as well if you pass the AWS and don't cancel it, and if you ignore the DVD alarm, the driver's vigilance device alarm. What'll happen is the DVD, that intermittent beep that you hear, that will go off every 2 minutes if the controls aren't moved, and I believe it's down to a point of if something like the AWS can cancel it and stop it from sounding if you press the AWS button before 2 minutes is up. Otherwise the alarm will go off. If the alarm does trip and if the alarm does go off and you don't cancel it, then the train is going to put the emergency brakes on. It's actually, I think it's 30 seconds, not 2 minutes. I might have been wrong with that. 2 minutes. 30 seconds sounds more like it. If you ignore it, it's gonna stop. It's gonna put the emergency brakes on, and I believe it will hold the emergency brakes on for 2 minutes. So it means you'll be stuck for 2 minutes without being able to move. You won't be able to get the emergency brakes off. AWS, if you miss that, it will put the emergency brakes on, but once the trains come to a stop, I don't believe it will hold them on. It will let them go so that you can drive straight off. If I'm not, like I say, if I'm not mistaken, one thing you should do in modern locos and trains, there's my hand, is you should look around the cab, because a lot of the times they'll have a marked maximum speed. So in the case of this one, there's 57, it's 75 miles an hour. That's going to be common a lot across a lot of diesel locomotives and freight trains, because freight, I believe, is generally limited to 75 mile an hour or slower. Passenger trains, that's different, they can go faster, but it depends on the locomotive or the actual train that's moving them. Like, so over there, those 377s can go, I believe it's either 90 or 100. I'm swinging more towards 90 because it sounds right, because I live on West Coast Main Line and have 350 to zeros, and they are in the process of being uprated to 100, I believe it is. Might be 110. But it's one of those things I can't. Now I've put myself on. If I wasn't on the spot, I would be able to remember what they're being uprated to and what their current speed limits are. But I've put myself on the spot and I can't remember what they are. So I think they're being uprated to 110. No, that 110 sounds too high. I think they're being uprated from 90 to 100. But then 100 sounds like what they're already limited to. So I'm gonna say the 350 to zeros are being uprated to 110. That's what I'm going with. I'm going to stick with that, and if I'm wrong, I will correct myself in the description yet again. But I'm sticking with 110 is what they're being uprated to. And there is a van parked across the road from me now. That's great. I don't like my neighbours. Also, one thing I should do is I apologise for if there is any fan noise in the background. Once again, it's quite hot in England. There we go. Next stop's London Victoria Station. Good. Right, see the derate light is still on, which is even better, which means if I was to do this, and it's probably going to take power, yeah, it's taken power straight away because the pressure was quite high already. So what you're going to notice is, I'm going to put this, I'm going to full throttle it, but the revs aren't going to go very high, or it shouldn't do anyway. I don't believe that's full revs for this train, that's only half, because the amp meter over here hasn't shot up into the amber, which tells me it's only on half and it hasn't pulled away with any wheel slip. If it was at full power, I'm pretty sure the wheels would be slipping right now, even though I've set that up at 100. The controls for driving are basically the same as Steam on this one. You've got the A and D here for accelerate and decelerate. I'm off the speed limit. Also, another thing with the 57 is the engine speeds don't react straight away to the throttle position. They've got like a second delay between them. I don't know if that's something that's just in the simulator, or if it's actually a real life thing where they do have a delay between throttle positions and engine speeds, I guess. The brakes also, just these two over here, semicolon, apostrophe, and they work like that. They work as you would expect. You put them to a certain point, they hold the pressure, unlike the Steam, which will carry on letting pressure in. These ones will regulate themselves, type thing. I'm just going to have a drink. That's better. Right, so I'm going to keep going until the derate light comes off. And then I'm going to try and get some wheel slip in. I'm going to try, no guarantees. But I can't remember what the maximum RPM of this engine is. I'm guessing in the 1200 range, but I'm not quite sure. So I've got a 40 actually. What am I hanging about for? I can just bump that up there. It's also another thing. Best practice is not to pull out of stations at 100% throttle. You gradually feed it in. You don't do what I just did. I was just to try and demonstrate my point of the engine being limited to half power, and for things like wheel slip, even though it didn't generate any wheel slip because the engine's at half power. So yeah, I will, once I get full power to the engine, I will pull the train to a stop, and I will sort of show some of the better practices, which is what I just didn't do. There's a DVD. I'm gonna carry on cancelling that for now, and I'm gonna leave the DVD to the end to demonstrate. I'm just gonna try and get the engine up to temperature so I can get full power output. There we go. The derate light is off. That's good, which means there is a tunnel up ahead, which I'm gonna go through first. Hopefully, this doesn't make me look like a pillock, and it goes above 675. Yeah, there we go. See, it's going up now. Derate light's off. It's going up full power. So it hasn't made me look like a pillock. I was right. That's always good. So it's gone up to 900 RPM. And that's the max of this engine. I'll go outside here. There's the newspaper just going off the screen there. I believe I have the Armstrong Powerhouse sound pack installed, which reminds me, actually, with this pack installed, you've got space for the horn, which you can't hear in cab. For some reason it doesn't sound in the cab. But if I go out here, space is low tone and B is the high tone, which one of the things I was talking about was Steam. You get the two-tone horns in the modern trains, or in some of the modern trains. So instead of just pressing spacebar and getting the two-tone, you can go like this. You can choose between high and low, however you want. If you want, you can go like that. But you know, it's up to you pretty much. And now we're in a tunnel, so I'm going to stop the other side of this tunnel. Actually got up speed quite quickly. Whoops, I want those two. So out the end of this tunnel, just gradual braking, just slow it down. That's another thing, you don't want to whack on the emergency brakes when you come into a stop. That's another thing that's bad practice. It's not done in general service. Emergency brakes are there conveniently for emergencies. They're not designed for regular service use, because it will really whack them on hard. I've been on a train that's had the emergency brakes put on. I was stood on a London Underground train, and they are remarkably good. I will tell you that much. Um, it was quite a busy train. I was stood on there on the Jubilee line train on my way home from college, and there was a problem, and the driver said he had to accelerate up to 15 miles an hour and then the emergency brakes would jam on. Boy, he was not joking. I was stood up, I got thrown forwards. Luckily, there was another London Underground worker there that said hold on to something, and yeah, he meant hold on to something. Those things are strong. They really are. But right, I'm gonna put on some more braking pressure. I'm gonna try and get the I'm gonna try and get it to show what I was talking about with it not taking power after a certain point or before a certain point. So if I dump these brakes off quickly and feed in power, will it? Yeah, see, there we go. It's not taking power because I put the throttle on before it reached that 4.5 bar. Because if I take this off now and start again, come on, be good, take power. There we go. It's taking power this time. Let's bring it to a stop. I'm just gonna put the wiper on so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Right. Now, if I do this, I'm gonna try and get some wheel slip in here. I'm gonna attempt it. So if I whack this up to 100, feeding all the power, come on, will it? Will it? It's not going to do it. Oh yes, there we go. I had some wheel slip there, still do. So what you do is, if you get wheel slip, you back off the throttle if you can, so that you can get rid of it. And if that still doesn't work, of course you have the sand, which you can then lay down on the tracks with X. But there we go, that's wheel slip. The wheels then were just spinning pretty much. If I stop again, take the throttle, oh fuck me. Right, that was my phone just stopping the recording, so there's going to be a bit of a break there, and I'm going to click my fingers in a second when I start again, because it won't support files over 2 gigabytes. Like I say, I am using my phone to record. It's the only HD camera I have, so that started recording again, and I would snap my fingers now. There we go. That's so I can sync the video up afterwards. What I'm going to do is here, once again, I'm going to dump the brakes off. You see these little white marks on the wheels. I'm going to see if you can see them speeding up faster than the train is moving. No guarantees. I'm going to try it to see what happens. Yeah, there we go. You can see them. They're speeding up really quickly, which is faster than the train is moving. Because if I dump these off again, they'll slow down. And there they go. Right. I believe this will this train actually puts the sand on automatically. You don't have control of it. Some will do that. It's the wheel slip protection systems. I don't think I'm going to be able to demonstrate the AWS tripping because there are no red signals near here. This scenario is pretty much straight through, so I'll have to demonstrate that in another one. But what you do is, when you pull it out of the station, you should pull away gradual power, just slowly feed it in. And on diesels, what you want to do is you want to keep an eye on the ammeter over on the right hand side of the screen right now. You don't want to feed in too much power. You want to keep it in the green. That's the ideal place for it. Means you're not overloading the electric motors. See, this meter over here is what I'm talking about. So you see, it's pulling away nicely here. You can just slowly feed in the power as you get higher up. This is what I do. It's not necessarily the right thing. It's what I do. It's what I feel should be the right thing. Like I've said many times, I'm not a train driver yet. I want to be a train driver, but I've got to wait at least another year. But there we go. Just gradually feeding it in, and it will pull away nicely. The DVD. Now this one should be fairly easy because all I have to do is let the train go and not touch any buttons, and it should sound the should sound the DVD. Don't make me look like a fool right now. I'm going to leave this just to accelerate up as it is. There it is. There's the DVD. And there we go. It's between 3 and 5 seconds. If it's not cancelled, it will put the emergency brakes on. So it only gives you a very short window in which to cancel it. And seeing as this has now put the brakes on, I'm not going to be moving for a good little bit. because it's going to stop the train. See, this is having no effect. The main brake controls there, no effect on the actual braking system. There we go, and the train has stopped. I'm going to cancel it, and I don't believe it's going to let me move off anytime soon. However, it might do. It appears it's going to. Okay. Is it? Is it or isn't it? I pulled in power too early to find out. Yeah, it's going to let me pull straight away. I guess in some of the trains it does hold you there for I think 2 minutes. In others it doesn't. I guess this is one of the cases when it doesn't, and it makes me look like a fool. But yeah, the DVD in this case, in this train, it acts the same as the AWS. It puts the emergency brakes on, it stops you. Once you've come to a complete stop and you've cancelled the alarm, it will let you move off. Okay, fair enough. It's made me look stupid then, in that case. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much how it works. Is there anything else I need to go over in the driving of this particular train? Well, one thing I could mention is this train has 2 sets of braking systems. It has the train brake, which will apply the brakes for the loco and all the coaches behind it, and I believe there is another loco down the end here. Yeah. It will apply the brakes to this and all the coaches in between and itself. I don't know why these are both numbered 57001. No idea. But if I use the loco brakes, which is these 2 up here, it's only going to apply the brakes for the loco that I'm currently in. So you're going to see they're not going to slow the train down particularly well, because it's only this one unit here with its brakes on. Nothing else in the whole this whole consist has its brakes. They're still off, which is why it's not really moved anywhere. If I put these brakes on, it's going to slow down considerably quicker, because it's got the whole braking on throughout the whole train. And then one of the things I can show you in this train, it is a demonstration of how much power it has to it. If you watch my old London to Brighton route with this one, you're going to know that with the emergency brakes on, which is what I made the mistake of doing, if you put the train up at about here, it will still pull away. Not as fast, mind. If I just dip out of this view, I don't know where the tracks are. There we go. It will still pull away. It won't move very quickly, but it will pull away. I found that out. And if I pull these off, it will suddenly speed up quite quickly. So yeah, I think that's about it for this train. If you click on this, you can make it disappear. There you go. You can make it appear and disappear. That's a little fun thing to do. And another little fun thing you can do, sometimes in the cab you get a rattle. It's this hot plate over here. You can see it jumping about. You can hit it and stop it. There you go. See, it's just that. There's a couple of little things that you can just play about in here, but there's really not much else to this one, I guess. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope it's been helpful. If it has, please leave a like. If there is anything I can do other than getting a tripod for my phone so it's not so jumpy like this, leave it in the comments below. And if there's a tutorial for a particular loco or train that you want to see, there's a DVD again, I'll be more than happy to make one. So yeah, thanks for watching.